What's up, guys? It's Coop Dizzle here, and welcome back for another episode here on Season 3 of the Diamond Society. Alright, we have got a huge episode planned today. So let me start by kind of showing you some of the stuff I did off camera. First of all, well, the first thing you'll notice right now is just the number of trees that I've taken down. As I mentioned in the last episode, I want to start clearing the terrain so I can get a better look at things. And this side of our space I can definitely see much better now. So I still have a lot of work to do on the back side of this hill, and maybe on these hilltops I might leave some of that in place though. I think these will probably be the last spaces that I try to build in personally, but that is going really well, and I think we're going to do a bit of landscaping today. That'll be our secondary, like our small project to break up the big project. I know for sure I want to connect this nice river over here. I really like how it curves around here. It's really good generation. But I want to connect the river up there. That seems silly that it wouldn't connect there. And then over here as well, I want it all to connect. So we're going to do that. And also we're going to clear out all of this land right here, because we're getting ready to build the castle. The Japanese castle. It's going to be an epic build, and so I'm on spring break this week, and that means I need to tackle something really big and hopefully get a bunch of progress, if not get it completely done. So that's the big project for today. And to do that, like, the castle is going to sit on a really tall foundation, and that foundation is going to go underwater quite a ways. So as deep as that river is, I'm thinking I'm going to clear out a huge chunk of this land to be as deep as that river, so that the foundation really goes pretty deep underwater. So that's our big project. We'll see how much of the castle we can get done today. I don't think we're going to get all of it done in this episode, but we're going to see how much we can get done, and that's going to add so much to the area. And I was going to save the castle for later, but I feel like I need to go ahead and do it now, because the rest of the town, at least on this side, is going to depend, the layout is going to depend on the dimensions of that castle and how that turns out. Because then we'll probably end up reshaping the river around that castle and planning out the rest of the city based on how that comes out. So, like, all of this terrain could dramatically change depending on how that castle sits. But anyway, before we get into all of that, the other big thing that I did is added some more cherry trees. I think last time I just had these 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I added this one over here. So let's go check that out. I added this one right here, which I think turned out pretty nice. And then I added this one over here, which I also think turned out really nice. And they both went pretty quick. I think I was saying it took an hour and a half in the last episode to build these. I bet these took maybe 30 minutes each. Not too bad, really, and that's just because I kept the trunk really simple and I kept the branches really simple. So they turned out a little bit different shape, each one. I think it turned out really nice. So still have a bunch of clearing to do, as I said, on the back side of this hill. This is enough room that we can build some stuff around here, and I have kind of some cool landscaping ideas for this pond area. But yeah. So anyway, let's get into it, guys. I'm going to... Okay, sorry, I was just reading chat. I'm going to fire up the old Coop Cam account, and yeah, let's get to work doing some landscaping and clearing out some terrain. Okay, the view has evolved quite a bit since our last update, so I thought I'd come out and we take a look at a few things together. Here now we have the foundation for the castle, which is really cool. Let's see, we have now a couple of different levels here. We're gonna have 3 levels on this part of the part of Japan. So we have the hill here with my house on it. We've got this area here which can fit a couple more houses at least, and we might be able to squeeze a few more on the other side. I think that this area in general, this whole side, may just be a residential area, and then we may have sort of our market area over there across from the castle. Speaking of which, sorry, I hear some bad guys. Speaking of which, this is the foundation for our castle, which is cool. I think, yeah, so that's about where the castle's gonna start there. I think that's the foundation pretty much laid out. We just have to detail it, of course. I'm not gonna leave it all cobblestone. In fact, I'm probably gonna use a very similar palette to what I've done over here. Yeah, that was the plan anyway. So the big thing is, I would like your opinion, because this wall here, basically I could go one of 2 ways, okay? I can do the walls more like this and make it sort of organic. See how this like curves? Like you can do 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3. You can do stuff like that with this wall design here. It's really flexible. But we could do a wall design like this, and this is similar to what I used in the slums. It's different, but it's the same basic concept, where you have a pillar and then you have 3 blocks and you can add depth. That's kind of what I did in the slums last season, and so I thought I would give that a try. And once I started doing this, I realized that I like how this looks better just in general. The problem is you can only go in straight lines or in diagonals like this, and yeah, it's just not very flexible. So whereas like that wall design over there is pretty flexible. Now the question is, should I use this wall design for all of the retainer walls, including the retainer walls over here? Yeah, if I do that, then I can only go in, diagonals or straight lines, and I can't get very smooth curvature to the land. Like this river here, instead of it having kind of a gentle curve to it, would end up just being diagonals. Sorry for the noise in the background. So I think in some places that might be cool, although, is this even appropriate over here? I might change this out for that design over there, because to me, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this doesn't really belong in a residential area. Like, do I even want a retainer wall in the residential area? And if so, maybe it should be a lot more simple than this. Maybe it should be something more along the lines of what we have over here, and then in the market area where we have all of our businesses and stuff, which will be this plot of land and also on top of this hill over here, maybe that's where we use that retainer wall design, like the fancy retainer wall design, if that makes sense. So let me know in the comments which one I should do. First of all, okay, so a couple of different things. Should I use that retainer wall design to shape out the land here? Okay, so that's one thing. Yes or no to that? Number 2, is this a good retainer wall design? Like, should I, instead of going with that, if no, should I go with this wall design? Or do you have any ideas for how I can improve this wall design? Maybe even send me some screenshots or something. Looks like I haven't detailed this side yet. So those are some of the questions that I have. And then basically, yeah, and then question number 3 is, do we use this retainer wall design in the residential area, or do we just save it for the market area and maybe make this either one of 2 things: a really simple retainer wall design, something like this, or get rid of the retainer wall altogether and just shape out a hill and make it more organic, like something like this over here, okay? So please let me know what you think in the comments, but we've got to continue on with this episode, which means doing one of 2 things. It means we can either continue shaping out the land and laying the foundations, or we can switch gears and start preparing for the castle build. And I'm not really sure which one I'm going to do yet, to be honest. I'm going to take a break and have a think about it, And either way, I have to collect up some materials. So, yeah, so I'm going to think about that and take a little break. And when we come back, I'll let you know which one we're starting on. Heck, you might even know by the thumbnail. Well, the view has certainly changed out here, my friends. We have a big chunk of the city now laid out and planned out, and it is ready for people to move in and start adding their builds. Although I don't expect for that to happen really, but I do hope I can kind of convince people with like this awesome build and the cherry trees that'll be in the area and some of the other cool stuff that's going to be going on here. I'm hoping that I can lure some people away from maybe some other areas to come out and at least lend a build out here. So, some of the things that have changed, let's take a look. I think I talked about these retainer walls in the last clip. I'm pretty sure I did. Is there a zombie creeping up on me? It sounded like it. I don't know. But anyway, I finished it. I finished the wall going all the way around here. So we can take a look at that real quick. I just added some buttons up here for detail, and I settled on this as the final design, but it wraps all the way around to here, which I think is good. We have, I think this whole area is still going to be residential. I'm not 100% sure. I know I'm definitely going to add a couple of houses up there, and so it might be good to just leave this area up for little houses and things. What else? So we've got, yeah, basically just plots for houses, and then over here there are plots for some smaller houses, and then also this trail. I kind of want to add a rail to this, and I want you to be able to walk right up next to the castle with an unobstructed view. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to line this path with some custom trees. So that way we still get the effect. If you're far away from the castle, it'll be kind of surrounded by some trees. But it'll also, you'll be able to walk up to it like this. I think that'll be really cool. We're going to have a bridge over here. And this is going to be the start of the market area. So I plan to have like an inn, sushi bar, or just a general restaurant area. Definitely like a sake bar and things like that over here. And let's see, probably some more trees. I'm really torn on, you know, because I want to have trees here, but I also want to have that really awesome unobstructed view of the castle. So I'm a little bit torn on whether or not to move this path over here and then maybe have, I don't know, guys, I don't know. But yeah, and then this road right here is going to lead up to this hill, and we're going to do another retaining wall over there, but a little with less wood. That was the new thing I added. I replaced that top row. I had the, what's it called? The the chiseled stone bricks. I had that on top over there, so it was the same basic design as this down here. And I remember that's what really bothered me, and that's why it didn't fit in a residential area. I think it fits now pretty well with this wood design, but you can still let me know your opinion in the comments. And by the way, the house looks really cool from over here. So if we hop down here now, nope, I missed. We can have a little swim around the river. I can't wait until 1.13 comes out so we can just get loads of fishes in here. Oh yeah, I changed the sky as well, so that's pretty cool. We got the sky from Halcyon Days in here. Looks really sweet, although I think I accidentally deleted the custom sun and moon. But anyway, I think this turned out pretty well. This does go all the way around. Let's see if we can zip around here. This is the edge of Japan, so like this area over here is a different area, but this wall wraps all the way around to here. I'm probably going to add another wall on this island. This is still part of Japan over here. Oh, but yeah, so these walls, they're not done. I still have more walls to add. Now it's going to get super dark and hard for you to see. Try and make this quick and wrap this up. But yes, this wall is fully detailed and wraps all the way around to over here. And there's a spot over here where you can disembark from your boat and walk up those stairs up there. Yeah, and then we'll go look real quick at some of the stuff I have to finish. So right here is one spot where the wall ends. I need to wrap that around this island over here. So that's going to be a huge project. We're going to do that over time. And I think this might, yeah, I think the river might end up connecting over there. So we've got some work to do on the river for that. And then the wall also comes around over to here on the market area. and goes down for quite a ways. And I've got to shape out the bottom of this river as well. But yeah, and here's where the wall ends on the other side of the castle. So we're going to bring that wall all the way up and around, all the way around over here. Looks like a swamp starts there. But yeah, I think we're going to, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I think I'm going to claim this area and this area back here as well for Japan, so that way the castle is completely surrounded by builds. I think that would be the way to go. And then we've got a little bit of room to do something on the other side of my house up there. Man, that house looks cool from a distance. So anyway, that's where we're at, guys. Now, I realized as I was working all this stuff that it's really not going to make for a cool looking thumbnail, and I really need at least one build, even if it's a small build. I mean, this is like a build, and this is a pretty big build in my opinion. Took a lot of time and a lot of resources. We're gonna have to do something about these light glitches. But anyway, so we've got to add at least one structure is what I'm saying. So I'm really torn. I don't know if I want to add a small little house over here, start filling this area out more, or if I want to move that chicken cooker into like a chicken shop. So I'm gonna have to think about that. I have a couple of ideas for different designs. Whatever we don't do in this episode, we'll definitely get to eventually. So I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm also gonna see how long our episode's running at, and then we'll continue and see which one we do. So I decided just to build a little house, and I went ahead and built it on the hilltop here, and there it is. It's really small, but I think it turned out pretty cool. You can let me know what you think. But I think this is a really pretty good little oriental house. So yeah, let's talk about it real quick. I didn't really build this on camera because I figured if you guys like it enough, then we can always do a let's build of it. So let me know in the comments if you want to see a let's build of this oriental house. Let's get a look at it from the side here. Let's see. I'm wondering if MG can sleep. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty cool like roof design. The only thing that I'm not too sure about is that I used red concrete here, and it's really smooth compared to this other texture, which is the same texture that I used on my house. So yeah, to me it just feels kind of weird. Now on this side, just to see what would happen, I used red concrete powder, and when you step back, I think that actually looks better. So let me know in the comments what you think. Should we replace the other walls with this red concrete powder, or we could do a mix of red wool and red concrete powder? So let me know what you think about that, and then we'll do that in the next episode. Well, we'll do it in a future episode. I'm recording episodes over spring break, and I'm trying to get like 2 or 3 episodes ahead, just in case something comes up again where I'm not able to record for a little bit. But let me sleep, and then we'll talk about what the next thing is. Okay, so the next thing is going to be to add some trees. I've already got some bushes going, and I feel like we don't have to add a whole lot of bushes because we have this outlining, I guess, the build. And so, yeah, I feel like we don't need like bushes surrounding this thing, but I definitely feel like it could benefit from some trees. So I'm thinking about putting a tree right over here. There's really not room in the background to do one. I do want to cover this up, cover this body of water up at some point, or fill it in. And then I'm trying to decide where the other one could go. There's a little bit of room right here, but I don't know if it's quite enough room for a tree. If we did one, we could barely squeeze one in on the corner, and I might do that, but for sure, we're going to put at least a tree back here and maybe surround that tree with some bushes or something like that. I want this area, Japan in general, but the area to just be filled with trees, and not the crummy Minecraft, default trees, but really pretty trees. Now, I tried my hand at some oak trees. I haven't really done custom oak trees. Well, I've done like cheap custom oak trees, where you like grow tall oak trees and then you just kind of shape it out at the bottom. But I've never done in survival trees like this. So like the trunk, I'm not a big fan of. It has a good lean to it, but it just looks awkward to me. I feel like in order to get a good tree trunk, you really have to go big. Like you have to have a really tall tree. And I might let myself build a little bit taller than this, but I'm trying not to let it get too out of control. And then this tree over here, I tried like upward moving branches, and it got this really kind of strange, almost like a willow effect. So I'm not a big fan of that for the area. I don't think I'm going to do... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do any more of that design, but I'm going to leave it there. What I've decided is, you know, while I'm learning to do these custom trees, I'm not going to be in that place where I just keep building them up and tearing them down until I get everyone absolutely perfect. I'm just going to build the tree, you know, I'll tweak it, try and make sure that it looks decent, and then I'll move on to the next one and try again. And over time, I'm hoping that I can just get better and better at this. But wow, hasn't this area changed so much since the beginning of this episode? I encourage you real quick to just zoom back to the beginning of this video and look at the landscape, because in editing, I did that, and it's unbelievable how much progress we've made in this episode. So anyway, one last thing to do. Let me put in a few custom trees over here, 2 or 3 of them, and then we'll take a look at the area now that it has those custom trees. Okay, let's take a look at it now that we have a few trees in place. I made 3 trees total, and yeah, I definitely think it adds something. I'm not too happy with how these trees are turning out. I definitely like them better than the regular Minecraft trees. I guess they're alright, you know, they're okay. This one's probably my favorite of the 3 that I made, and I think it's also, well, it definitely is also the tallest, so I think that has something to do with it. But we've got one back there, which I think is okay, but it helps that it's surrounded by some bushes that's kind of covering up the ugliness of the base of the trunk. But I think the leaf placement is okay. My leaf placement on these trees has gotten a lot better than it has been before, so I think that's okay. It's mostly building up the trunks, good looking trunks. I think that's where I'm not feeling too good about it. And then we've got this one in the background over here. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think about these trees in the comments, and also let me know what I can do to improve. Yeah, if you have any just general tips. I mean, most of what people say is, well, there's not really a system to it. You just have to use your creativity, man. And it's like, well, I need something to really think about. You know, from down here, that looks really cool. Having the house being kind of flanked by those 2 trees, I think that looks really neat. And I think it's cool now how this tree kind of hangs over this entrance when you come up. So that looks really cool. Let's get a view of the whole area from over here. I also took down that nether portal too. I'm not sure if you caught that. That's just because I want the nether portal to be over here on this hill. I have a really cool plan for the nether portal. Yeah, that's looking kind of cool. Now we've got 5 custom trees over there on top of that hill. We've got one more house that's going to go in there. And I think between those 1, 2, 3 houses and all of the trees that are hanging around, and the mix of the oak and the cherry blossom trees, I think that's going to be a really cool looking area, man. I'm really excited about how that's turning out. So, but again, let me know what you think in the comments. Handful of things I'd like to hear from you guys about in this episode. So in the next episode, I think we might be ready to at least take on the first floor, if not the first couple of floors of the Japanese castle. So that should be cool. I talked about that at the beginning of this episode, but I just didn't have anywhere near the materials ready. And the materials for this thing are quite expensive, so I still have a lot of resource gathering to do. But anyway, let me know, again, what you think about this house, what you think about the trees, and just what you think about the layout altogether. We did a lot of work on the retainer walls today, laying out pathways. I think this pathway here is at least needs to continue up through here, up to these stairs right here. And then over here we might think about something different, but I see this as being more of a naturey area than this down here, so we definitely want the rougher pathway design. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Let me just take off my armor here. Oh, and I'm forgetting one really important thing. Hang on. There they are. That's right, diamonds, baby, because it's the Diamond Society. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and thank you for making it to the end of the episode. Here are some diamonds on me, my friends. You guys are totally awesome. Thanks for waiting on me. Thank you for sticking with me and not unsubscribing, and thank you for just hanging out, you know, just waiting and giving me another chance here. I am so grateful to you guys. So Oh, and real quick before I forget, I apologize for that kind of lame time lapse earlier in the episode. I recorded like 3 or 4 hours worth of footage, and probably 3.5 of those got messed up by my recording software. So I'm sorry about that, but I'll try to hopefully that doesn't happen in the next episode, because I have some really cool time lapses planned. Anyway, again, thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure and hit the like button. Make sure that you leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you're new. Join the Coop Dizzle family and catch more awesome Minecraft videos. But anyway, again, guys, until next time, may you be happy, may you be well, and take care. I'll see you later.